Hello and a warm welcome here out of Canada. We're live from out of the pit box of commentary box. My name is Chris de Jong, next to me is Simon, and we're here today for another brilliant day of racing. With two races actually, starting off with the pro race, and how lovely track it is to race, Simon.
Lovely track, and always a pleasure to race around here. Always a pleasure to commentate with you as well. Lovely circuit, very street circuit feel, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. It's 13 turns, it's around 4.9 kilometers, and every single corner here is a challenge, especially that last chicane.
Are you saying that because I crashed, or is that... No, joke.
No.
But
I wouldn't do that to you.
The thing is, it is a lovely track, and it's lovely that there are so many overking maneuvers. DRS might be a little bit overkill here, but we can use it. But yeah, it will have a lot of action today. Certainly on the back straights and the main straight here.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically there should be a lot of action because the DRS zones are significant, but in the ace race yesterday, a lot of drivers struggled with that and struggled to overtake, even though top speeds were fairly high.
Yeah.
So that'll be quite an interesting thing to see.
Indeed,
come the
there
race.
will always be drivers that are looking for the balance. Either I'm stepping up with a little bit of downforce on my rear and front wing, or I'll choose to be faster on the back straights. You're always compromising, and it's curious to see which drivers choose for what. Which driver will choose for a better top speed, or which driver will look for that little bit of extra downforce. If you do choose for some more downforce, you will find it almost impossible to overtake on the back straight, even with DRS open, if you just don't have the gear ratio set up for like 320, 325 kph. We saw this yesterday in the race with the Twister racing car that was in 4th place. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, certainly a lot of opportunity here to defend.
Yeah, it's quite an ambivalent decision, you know, whether to go with higher downforce, and you'll be good through the first couple of sectors, and then you'll struggle through that last sector. So with high downforce, you're obviously not going to make overtaking maneuvers anytime soon. And it's up to you as well. I mean, remember the ace races are, the grid 1 at the moment is going to be 60%. So
yeah,
low fuel, it's not going to be too crucial to have high downforce. So a low downforce will be able to get away with a lower fuel load. So it's up to the driver's decision on that one.
Yeah, it is. I think the majority of drivers will hang around 140 liters for the race. As we are about to move to Q1, so 140 liters. It's a shorter circuit than most of the tracks, so more laps, and I think more concentration needed here, especially near the Wall of Champions. I mean, that chicane will just catch people out, well, there will be an interesting few first corners in this race, and well, we already have seen a tremendous race in Canada in the real Formula 1. I just don't hope we get the similar ending like in real Formula 1. What a drama was that.
No, but I don't think there'll be many mechanical failures going on. It could be, this track is heavy on the brakes and a fuel, sorry, as well, as you said, a lot of fuel, and brakes as well. The duct for this race, people will be running maybe a brake duct of 5 or 7 compared to Silverstone in 2 weeks' time, where brake duct 1 is pretty much, a lot is overkill for that circuit. And it's up to the drivers. Q1 now at the moment, I think. Yeah, so we're about to get underway. Big queue at the end of the pit lane. Lots of drivers.
Yeah. Always nice to see. It's part of the FSR spectacle for drivers who will be at the at the light first. But yeah, actually, as a driver, I mean, there have been a lot of situations like this where you just have to almost like fight for a position to get your Q lap in a free lap. But well, these guys are handling it all right. Rens Klopp is the first guy to come out, and behind it, that's all to do because of their performance in the recent races. And I think they expect the most out of themselves as well. Who do you think will be be doing great today, Siem.
It's got to be the main three Dutchmen, which is Klopp, Bojov, and Keukel, who Keukel took his first pole position at Imola. Great from him. Unfortunately, during the race, he dropped behind, had a few moments as well, and Klopp pressured Bojov into that mistake at the chicane. So it's something that Bojov will have regrets about coming into this round. Remember that Klopp's won every single round except for Bahrain, which unfortunately he did. I think he failed to qualify, so he started last.
Yeah.
But now it's interesting that Klopp's first out of the pit lane. He's took the championship lead, first out of the pit lane as well, and now he's coming up to the Wall of Champions. I'm not sure if you want to hit that because he's on par to becoming a champion of the Pro Series at the moment.
We're just in race 5 of 12, but well, he's certainly a great contender here. As he crosses the start-finish line, I'm really curious to see what he will drive for kind of downforce and top speed, because if you are in first place, you can allow yourself to run a little bit of less top speed if you can get that good getaway. But yeah, let's see how he will do. His first sector time, 21.873. Definitely is looking for that banker lap to put in.
Definitely, and Jonathan Holmes behind him does a 22.1, so he's a 0.3 off Klopp's pace as Klopp comes through the little tricky chicane at the moment with those high profile curves and very close to the wall on the exit, so he's pushing this lap. We'll see how it goes. He's coming across the line for sector 2. He does a 24.9. We'll compare that to a teammate Jonathan Holmes in the other Twister car, who Holmes was P11 in Q1 in Imola, so he missed out on Q2. That's something that he'll want to make up for as well. He does a 25.2 for sector 2, so now Klopp coming up to the final chicane. Braking hard, nice and smooth through the exit, bit of wheel spin, keeps it going though, so stay to the right for the shortest run to the flag, and he does a 17.5, not a bad lap. That'll get him through to Q2 easy.
Indeed, and his top speed was 327 on the back straight with DRS, of course. So he's definitely looking for a high top speed here. Instantly parks the car in the pits and goes out again, as we have 7 minutes to go in this Q1 session. Daniel Brewer goes to second place, and there are only 7 guys with a time now. They are coming in now.
Interesting to note as well that Daniel Brewer does have a 10-place grid penalty, and so does Adrian Falcon has a 5-place grid penalty for their separate penalties there. So Brewer is a great qualifier though, so even if he does qualify in second, third, you'll still start 12th or 13th. Missed out on Q2 last round. He qualified 13th. He still finished 4th. So it's up to him now. If he can qualify higher, he might be able to hang on to a podium finish.
Yeah, he did have a promising time during the session here. I believe he was at 17.7 or 8. So he's definitely a contender for Q2. Also from, he has been absent for the last race. Guglielmo Matti, our lovely Italian guy, finds himself in the 8th place at the moment. And I think he's looking forward for a nice result as well. I mean, he's been on vacation and well, he should be rested now. And let's see what he can do. He obviously in Bahrain let us know he could drive reasonably well. And yeah, looking forward to see his performance.
You want to show that consistently as well. So of course, as you said, he'll be wanting to prove to everyone he has the speed, he has the consistency to fight for championships. So step by step, maybe he'll be able to develop himself and become a terrific driver in the future. He's not a good driver at the moment, he's a terrific driver now. And it's interesting to know, we've got a new team on the grid, DAR Simtech and Silver Pro. And that's Sander Callis now. He's in P2 with a 17.6 behind Rens Klopp. So some new faces on the grid that might spring some surprises. Maybe come the race.
Well, definitely more faces on the grid than there were yesterday. I believe we only had 17 or 18 drivers yesterday. Now the grid is full again with 26. A lot of drivers are still in the pit lane. But there are a lot of drivers too that have had a back off the grid because of the incidents that happened last race. Clayton Nels now, he has to find for a lap time in with only 4.5 minutes to go. He's well underway to do so, but not really up the pace to get himself into the top 10. Let's see if he can make the time up on the back straight. On the meanwhile, it's Rens Klopp who's comfortably in the pits and well, might as well do a Q2 lap in advance, because he has a 4/10 gap to second place driver Sander Callas.
Yeah, he just improved on that last lap. Terrific through that final chicane, so he's not going to hit the wall and become the championship. I was being a bit ambivalent there with my conversation. Nelmes just goes second. I was watching that, so that's a great lap. He does 17.5, and Calesio Campos is in 4th, so he's going out for another lap as well. I mean, it's this grid is very tight at the moment. There's just one room for error, and you're just going to fall outside of the top 10.
It is. There is a marginal gap between the back of the top 10 with 3 tenths to spare between 8 and 9. So, but 4 drivers are into the 18.1, starting from the 10th place, Jonathan Holmes to Guglielmo Matti. But Adrian Falcon, as I was just saying, that just pushed Jonathan out of the top 10. And Jonathan finds himself now in 11th place. He's still got quite a lot of time to catch up on that. But definitely a lot of drivers that are looking for this extra few tenths to get them into the Q2. What an excitement.
Yeah, and you can find those extra few tenths, especially in that final corner, the final chicane. You push hard and straight line it as much as possible, and you might be able to pick up a couple or a few extra tenths. So I think Holmes is going to start his lap now. This is important for him because he's dropped down in the championship after his disappointing performance at Imola, and he'll be looking to bounce back from that as he crosses the line with the DRS wide open and nice through turn 1 at the moment. Hopefully this will be a clean lap for him.
Yeah, hopefully he will.
Nice and smooth on the exit brake at the 50-meter board. He's looking good at the moment. I don't want to curse him, but he's looking like a nice and smooth lap. So yeah, a bit twitchy, but he has a 21.9, so he's 2 tenths up on his personal best. Green in that first sector. This is a great lap so far when he gets onto the grass slightly on the exit there. And braking hard, and then nice and tricky through this section. It's quite a fun corner. That's why I say nice, and that's why I say tricky, as he comes through to the line for sector 2 once more. So he's looking for a 25.0. He does a 25.1, so he loses a tenth to his best second sector, but he's definitely going to prove by a few tenths on this lap, so it's looking good for him at the moment. Just a couple, or one more corner to go.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on him, and I also want to keep an eye on his top speed. Rens Klopp did a 3.27, and he does 3.24, so maybe not similar setups in the Twister camp, who knows. Either way, Jonathan Holmes finds himself on the back straight with his last attempt and a 17.9, so does improve, and finds himself now in spot.
Oh, he's dropped down to 11th. Yeah, and plus Adrian Falcon's left the server. He must have an issue, so when Falcon comes in, Holmes will probably be in 12th as well. He's going to have to find, you know, a bit of... Well, I think he's out now. Yeah, he's not going to get another lap in, so Holmes is out once again in Q1. Unfortunate for him, and that's his race made even more difficult than it is with this close and tightly packed grid. Sander Callas at the front done a 17.3. He's 1/10 off Klopp. It's a great lap from him, the new face on the grid.
Alright, so we are about to end the Q1 session. There's only 23 seconds to go, and still a lot of drivers that are going into their last lap to try to impress us all, and especially themselves. The cutoff is at 1:17.849, and it's tremendously close to the live timing sheet. I mean, 3 tenths between the 5th place and the 12th place, so it's getting close. And the pit lane is now closed. Every light is on red, and we are now looking forward to see everyone cross the finish line. Quickle spins. Ouch.
Yeah, sorry, the only guy who's, I was about to say, is spun in front of the only guy who is possible to make it to Q2 at the moment. That's Jordan Weeks, who's improved by 2/10 on his lap. He's going to have to improve by, 17.8 is the cutoff point. So he needs to find another 3/10 in this final sector. It'll be a huge final sector if he can do that. And very important, it'll even determine his last grid slot. So as long as he gets a nice finish of the lap here, he misses the apex slightly on the first part of the chicane.
Well, definitely has the determination to do a lap, but he can get it through. 18.378 is the best Jordan Weeks moment, and that's unlucky for him. But nevertheless, I think we have our top 10. There's still some drivers. Ooh, Daniel Brewer goes to 4th place. He was 6th a few seconds ago. I don't know how the admins will imply it now. Go on, John.
Campus. So Campus is the only one. What was your question again? Sorry. I was looking at Campus. I don't think he's going to improve. And I'll tell you what, Jarek Bozhov in 10th almost missed out on Q2 here, and that's not going to be good for his championship challenge. 6/10 off Renz Klopp, and now it's going to be Q2. Those 2 DAR cars in 2nd and 7th of Santa Carlos and Rate Tulikas, I think it's pronounced, is they're going to go through in their first race this season. Going to go through to Q2, so well done to them. So Q2 now, it's going to be 5 minutes. You got 1 lap each for each of these top 10 drivers. And, they can elect to which tyre they want to start the race on, but obviously Park Ferme on the setups. Who rushes out first for a lap here? I think so. No one's rushed out at the moment. The pit lane's still closed though. Okay, I think is that no. So still no one's out. It's still quiet in the pit lane. Who do you think will take pole for this round? I think Klopp's looking very good for it again. Ooh. My mistake. Sorry, my mistake. Chris will be back shortly. So, as I said, Q2, and each driver will have a single lap to go through. And straight away, Campus is the only driver out at the moment in P6. And you go out first, and you'll still get to that same rhythm you had in Q1. So it's good for that. But you're going to lose out on the extra grip from those drivers who will set the laps before you. So extra rubber on the track is the advantage you get by going out late. But of course, Campus still feels he probably is in the rhythm. He's going to go out early, get this lap done now. So still no one out following him.
I'm really curious to see what he will do up. Sorry, I had to take the doorbell first. Sometimes real life is looking here. So indeed, LSU Campus now with super soft tire going out as one and only. That's interesting. Because if you have 9 drivers going out with 2 minutes to spare, I mean,
Yeah, so Daniel Brewer is the only other driver now who's going out. So everyone's looking for that last gasp effort for pole position. So Campus now is going to start his lap, and yeah. I'm actually quite optimistic for him here. Looking good.
I am too. He was looking great in Q1, even putting up the personal best, I believe. And yeah, after the last Grand Prix, I mean, he did got a podium. He knows he can do it, and he knows he got all the things in order to get a good result. And it's now only up to him to manage this pressure and get this great lap in.
And you know what? 21.9 for that first sector for a Q2 lap is excellent, considering you have to run higher ducks. He's looking good for pole, in my opinion here. As Kukel gets out of the way, straight out of the way,
doesn't
affect his lap.
Slipstream though, really weird now. But yeah, indeed, LSU Campus really looking on to set a bang-on lap time. His second sector is a 25.370, so I think he has a low down for setup, and he will gain a bit in this last sector.
Hopefully he does, because this will be a ripper lap for maybe even a front row start. So we'll see what Klopp can do, and even Santa Carlos, the new face on the grid, see what they can do compared to Campus's time and his effort, which is going to come now. So open the DRS across the line now, and he's going to zoom past the line. Doesn't stay to the right for the shortest run, but he still gets an 18.3. Wow, so that final sector was way off the pace.
Surprising. Yeah, it was definitely looking so awesome through Sector 1, but well, nevertheless, 18.3, let's see, others still have to get underneath that, although I do think Rens Klopp and others will not have problems doing that. Sander Callas is exiting the pits now with only 1 minute 40 to spare, and I'm really curious to see who will be best of the rest, because I think Rens Klopp will get pole position here.
Rens Klopp definitely looks like the favourite to get pole. Daniel Brewer is up 40 or maybe half a second on Alessio Campus's time at the moment, as he's on Casino Straight at the moment, and he's got that last little tricky chicane to go behind him. The next person for a lap is Heron Queekle, who's similar to Campus's effort. So these higher ducks are proving to be a little bit hard for these drivers to manage with the lower brake hauling. So Brewer does a 17.6, not bad for a Q2 lap. I think Klopp might be able to beat that though, as he's Sector 1 is down on Brewer's time, so maybe obviously he's running lower down.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Queekle now crosses the finish line, and he does a 17.9, which puts him onto provisional pole. Mind you, Brewer still has the penalty. So.
Ah yes, yep. Sorkos goes through third with an 18.0, and
nice for him.
So nice for him as well. So I forgot that Brewer had that 10 place penalty, and I'm looking at that's Ray Tulikas, who will cross the line next, and behind him is Rens Klopp, the man who we tip for pole at the moment. So Ray will cross the line and sets an 18.7, so he's last of the run. It's a grid a lap. But now here's Mr. Rens Klopp, the championship leader. Across the line, he's only second.
Yeah, but on pole, since Brewer has the penalty, I saw a really frustrated Rens Klopp there. Definitely not happy with himself, but he still has Daniel Brewer still has the penalty.
You'll probably realise that once he escapes to the pits and realise that Brewer's the one on pole. The next person to cross the line is Yorick Bojov, second in the championship. Can he better Rens Klopp? Oh, he goes third. Oh, very close, very close.
Very close indeed. Wow, Yorick Bojov on third here. Nico fourth. But it's still not over.
Nelmes fourth.
Nelmes fourth, and the last person to come over the finish line, as we just saw Guglielmo Martin clinching 8th place, is Sander Callas. Here he comes, back straight. DRS open, and he's also moving to the left. I don't get this, why drivers do, but nevertheless gets him into the 17s with a 17.977. Good for 5th place, but he will see that turn into 4th place after Daniel Brewer gets his +5 starting penalty. So as our grid is formed now, Daniel Brewer can still keep his pole position on the paper, though it is his pole position, but he will start on 6th place. So we have Rens Klopp starting at first, Yorick Boshoven on to second, Nelms in third, Callas in fourth, Queekle in fifth, and then Brewer in sixth, Sokas in seventh, Alessio Campus in eighth, Guglielmo Matti in ninth, and Riyad Tulkas in 10th place. So promising grid.
Promising grid, very close, and these drivers are going to be, look at the gaps in qualifying. It was 1 second from first to 10th, but in reality it's quite a lot closer than that. These laps weren't perfect. That's quite a bittersweet moment for Daniel Brewer in first, having pole, but he's not going to be able to make the most of it. And the avid chronic driver once again proves he's a great qualifier, and hopefully that race pace is good. He's going to start 11th, and remember Campus started 13th, finished in 4th. Maybe he can start 11th and still make it up to the front. And that's crucial for Klopp as well, in front of Bojov, because Bojov was in front last round and Klopp put the pressure on, remember, and Bojov made the mistake, as I mentioned before. Yeah. It's up for Bojov to do the same this round.
in the end, I just like to say that I am so looking forward to this race. I mean, we have the perfect track, we have the perfect drivers, and it's just Canada, man. It's Canada. It's every year there's bound to be chaos and awesome racing, and I don't think this year will be an exception for that.
Always a great track for racing. Remember the 2011 race here? I mean, that was, what, 5 hours long, and we still had a thrilling finish to that one. Warm up now. So we have 9 minutes till race start, and the drivers will get a feel for the car with a heavier fuel load. It's around 130 to 140 litres. As mentioned before, whoa, there's a big incident with a couple drivers at one of the chicanes. I'm not sure who it was, but hopefully none of that in the race.
Yeah, we will see a lot of drivers and a lot of trains forming with drivers, I want to say. Yeah, even though we have 2 DRS zones, I don't think there will be a huge advantage in the second DRS zone, which is at start-finish. I think the best opportunity a driver will have to make an overtake move stick is on the back straight. I really think we will see a big train with cars today, and well, there's one crucial rule in racing, and that is to catch a guy in front of you. That's one thing, but to pass him, that's a completely different story.
Exactly, and if you can't pass the driver, you're going to have to start improvising on what to do. I mean, I noticed that if you do run higher downforce packages, you're going to have no chance come to the 2 straights here, so you're going to have to maybe, as I said, improvise and maybe try the chicane, or maybe try the, sorry, not the chicane, the hairpin, Le Pongle, they call it in Montreal. And
well, you have a French good pronunciation, man.
Thanks. There's it's not, that's why a lot of teams elect for the low downforce anyway, because it's not easy to pass around. It's, as we said, street circuit feel around the corner, so the straight's definitely the best option.
Yeah, it's a combination of all epic corners. You got 2 major straights, and in between that you have the curvy sections that Thielke can only dream of designing, and he will never do that. So I'm really, I mean, it's fair. I mean, this is one of the greatest races in the calendar. And what John-Eric Saxon did was putting some more brilliant tracks on it, like Suzuka and Monza. So this will not be the only good old race we're gonna get. So as we are making ourselves up for the start of this pro race, there are not many drivers that are setting up times during the warm-up session. Maybe to give their opponents a little bit of twisted information. But it's interesting to see that Klopp is not on top in the warm-up. There's a lot of 120, so nobody in the 119.
No one. So yeah, as you said, Klopp. Maybe Klopp last round had a terrible start to the warm-up. Maybe he just takes time to get that feel for the car, and with the heavier fuel load. On this lap though, at the moment he's only slightly better. I don't think it'll be a 19. If he does do a 19, that's just going to demoralize everyone behind. And then the championship at the moment, Klopp leads, and that's on 161 points. He took that championship lead from Bojov at Imola. Bojov's second, only 5 points behind, 156. And we have Holmes, Swerkus, Campus, Quakel, Falcon, Brewer. Yeah, those are the top 8.
I have information on that, because it says here that Daniel Brewer has moved to the 11th spot, which indicates he has a 10 place grid penalty. Maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's not. Let's see, time will certainly tell.
No,
Sure.
I think it's, that was my mistake. I think Falcon has the 5 place and Brewer has the 10 place, so so it's going to be, it's not going to be easy.
No, it's unfortunate for Brewer, because he still can keep the pole position, but he finds himself with 10 cars in front of him. But it's always action reaction. I mean, 2 weeks ago there was an incident, and this is the reaction to that. Nevertheless, we saw in the first race in Bahrain that if you start from the back like Rens Klopp did, you can drive an awesome race. And it's damage limitation for, of course. I mean, if he gets a good start and some people, he can easily find himself into a 6th-7th place. And like we said earlier, there's bound to be action here. There is bound to be at least one driver in the Wall of Champions. I mean, it has to be. I mean, I would definitely put a bet on that. But let's not get into that.
And it's made worse of the fact that if a driver does lose his front wing at the Wall of Champions, it's going to stay on the track, and if the leaders come through, let's say the next lap, it could still be there, and as you hit, let's say, a piece of the front wing, or even a full front wing, it can severely damage your car, throw you off, and that's something that they're going to have to watch out for.
Indeed, the marshals here are not really good at cleaning up debris on the track, but we're still working on that. We are moving to the race. We have 42 laps plus 1 formation lap for us all coming up, and what a race it's going to be.
So quickly rounding out the grid, we have Klopp in first place. Once again, a terrific pole position from him. Bojov's in second, closely behind, and Nelmes in third. Nice to see him up there. I mean, he had a great race in Bahrain. He slowly dropped off a little bit. He's back up there, and then the new driver Sander Callas is in fourth, and then Jeroen Kuikel, our pole sitter from the last round, is in fifth for Go Speed Pro Engineering, and Mikko Swarkas in sixth. He's always up there, consistently consistent, if you want to put it that way, up the front. And Campos is in seventh, a man who I think will have terrific race pace for a guy that doesn't qualify highly. And then Guglielmino Matti, who's proved that he's once again a force to be reckoned with in P8 rate. Tulikas is in 9th, and Jonathan Holmes is in 10th. So let's, Chris, round out the rest of the grid for us, please.
Yeah, Daniel Brewer did get pole position on his name, but has to start 11th because of the penalty. Victor Ivanov finds himself into 12th place. Sebastian Velosa in 13th. Mike Partington in 14th. Jordan Weeks in 15th, and behind that is Rando Tam in 16th. Carlos Hernandez is in 17th, and Adrian Falcon behind that in 18th spot. Timu Falkiardi, sorry for that, is in 19th. Jordi Sanandras Salvat is in 20th. Our Edward Corey, who has been here for years, finds himself in 21st position. Ben Eastman in 22nd. Dmitry Zaharov in 23rd, and James Sattler in 24th. And Christopher Schroer and Thomas Coriala will start out of the pit lane.
To be honest, I thought Ben Eastman had a back of the grid penalty, but he seems to have allowed to take the formation lap. But Christoph Schroer and Thomas Coriala,
he should have had a back of the grid penalty. I mean, what he did last time in Imola, he just destroyed someone's race. So well, definitely should have gotten some penalty for that, but I don't know.
It does say on the briefing that he does. So
yeah,
maybe he's been let off for that.
So Rens Klopp is the first guy that slots into his starting position, as Dmitry Zaharov finds himself still in the back straight. Let's just hope Rens Klopp can keep his brake temperatures up and his engine temperature down. I'm really looking forward to this, and we're about to go. You can take us to it, Simon.
I'm really looking forward to this. So all 24 drivers are in place, ready, set, and they'll be prepared to go when the lights will go out soon in Montreal. A very short run down to the first corner. So here we have 5 lights. And we're underway for another round. Nelmes, great jump off the line. He's jumped Bojov already. He might jump Klopp, but it's obviously a short run. So Nelmes is in second at the start. Bojov keeps third, away from Sander Callas, who they're swapping positions slightly there, but Bojov gets it. So Kuikel's dropped the position. He's on the grass. Kuikel's on the grass, but he saves it just. There could be a bit of chaos in the back. Oh, someone spun.
Right to Tulikas spun off, and he's looking the wise. KM here. Oh my god, what's happening here? Guys, there are 8 drivers here near the... Oh my god, this is not going great. I lost
Oh,
words.
dramatic.
I lost words.
I
But
lost
there
words
are
as well.
definitely 6 or 7 cars caught up in that. I hope we can find a replay to that to see you, to show you what's happened. But definitely some chaos here.
I think it started with a lockup from Tolikas, who obviously slid through the corner, drifted through the corner, and that caused a bit of a domino effect. There's a red flag. Carlos Martins called a red flag to this race.
And I think that is the right decision here. I mean, with that many debris on the track, with that many chaos, it's just not realistic to drive on. So definitely a good call, in my point of view, from him. So we don't see this often here, but the race is going to be restarted, and well, that gives another opportunity for them. But like you said, Simon, it was definitely a dominoes effect. We had one car, I believe it was the yellow car of Raid Tulikas, who spun a bit. That caused a chain reaction through the pack and just set everyone flying. I mean, there's only one slight moment needed for absolute chaos with the drivers all so close to each other. And let's just hope it goes alright this time.
Yeah, so they're unfortunate for them. I mean, I'm lost for words still. That was a crazy start. So luckily that we're starting again though.
Yeah, indeed. And we just get confirmation. Carlos Martin, our race director here, is telling us that there will be no more red flags during this. But yeah, with a pack like that being crashed with all the debris, I mean, it could easily be that Rens or Boshoff or Nelms drove through that and got a flat tire, you know. So this is good, and it puts everyone on the reset button, and everyone gets another fair chance again. I just don't hope that any other driver will get caught out this time, because then we will always get the situations on the forum where people say, but in the first race I was okay. Let's just see. I mean, the first corner was really clean. The first and second corner, there was absolutely no contact and great driving from them all, and left each other just that a little bit of space that is required for. And yeah, this is really epic. Epic is the right word.
Yeah, and it's I mean, I'm not sure if Quickle ran off coming out of turn 2. He went off into the grass. I don't think it was him though, but unsettled some of the drivers in the back, and they asking him, and you know, I mean, as the domino effect. But hopefully none of that again. And interesting to note, hopefully Bozhov's warmed that car up and warmed the tires up well, because he had a terrible start off the line. Maybe that first gear is set up for the chicane and not for the start. Hopefully now this time around it will be a lot better.
Yeah. Well, definitely a surprising race already. I mean, this is the first time in 2 or 3 years that I'm here that I actually see a red flag. Nevertheless, it shouldn't be any more tension dropping. I mean, we're back on the grid and back for the start again.
Lights are on. Hopefully this time around it's a clean start. Nelmes, terrific start. He might jump up. Oh, this time around he goes in front of Bozhov, so he stays in second, takes holds that position well, and Swerkis gets past Bozhov. That's making me stutter a little. So Bozhov's dropped to 4th. A terrible start once again. That first gear is obviously set up for the chicane. Coming through the chicane, hopefully it's clean through now, and nice. So Brewers
off the track where we just had our major chaos spin. But fortunately he's able to continue the race, and he doesn't have any great amount of damage. So a great start indeed from Clayton Nelms. Almost jumped Rens Klopp, but he closed the door on the outside. Great driving from Klopp as well. And the big winner here is Guglielmo Matti, who finds himself into 6th place. And Campus, who already jumped, who is fighting for 7th.
Daniel Brewer's close to Holmes, who's close to Campus in front. No one's really broken away at the moment. Everyone's got a consistent gap to each other, as Klopp will lead the first lap. Nelmes, what a start from him. Maybe he can prove to be the underdog in this race, and very aggressive through the last chicane. across the line now.
Sebastian Pelosa dives in. Oh, Guglielmo Matti is off the track. Guglielmo Matti is off the track and out of this race. He comes up on the back straight and just makes contact with the racing car of Sander Callas and loses the balance. Definitely a mistake from Matti, but it allows Campos to go through.
Yeah, and I was watching Daniel Brewer who hit Jonathan Holmes, and that makes the Filosa now. Oh, they're very close to each other. There's about 4 or 5 cars who might have collided, so Brewer's lost a lot of ground on that. Holmes is up to 8th though, even though he did get hit by Daniel Brewer. Obviously, Matti had that issue. So Campos now, there's a huge gap. It's 2 seconds to Sander Callas in 5th. So the top 5 are breaking away from the pack here.
Yeah, Rens Klopp is not waiting any moment to let Clayton get into that DRS zone. The first 2 or 3 laps there is no DRS, but it would be nice for Rens to get out of that gap already. The others are not following closely, starting from P6 Alessio Campos. There's already a 3-second gap between Callas in 5th and Campos in 6th. But definitely a good call to restart this race, because it's the field is reasonably clean underway now, and everyone can get into their groove.
And if everyone gets into their groove, mainly Rens Klopp is 9/10 now from Clayton Nelmes across the line.
Sorry to interrupt you on the back straight. Thomas Coriala made contact, tried to make a move, and just outbrakes himself, and there was no more room than to hit the other car in front of him. That is really unfortunate for Thomas.
Oh, and he just had another spin just in front of Guglielmo Matti, so that's dropped him down to 24th place and last of the runners. Oh, there's an accident. That's Timu Valkjärvi, who's pretty much essentially going to be out of this race. There's a lot of debris on the track, so when the leaders come through, that's going to be important to avoid. Hopefully their teams are on it and telling them to avoid that next time around.
Valkjärvi just lost control of the car, and his teammate just hit the back of him and not able to avoid. And he's still driving without a rear wing. Timo, do the right thing and just park that rear wingless car next to the track and press escape, mate. You're a danger on the track.
Nelmes, though, back to the front. Nelmes is still in the DRS zone. They've dropped Swerkos in 3rd, but Bojov's still close behind Mikko Swerkos.
And Timo Valkjärvi now completely on the track and causing mayhem. And he's still going on without a rear wing.
Hopefully the leaders don't come anytime soon. I think Rens Klopp is just about to pass the end of the first sector now. I don't think he'll catch Timu. If Timu pulls into the pits, repairs that rear wing and finishes the race. So hopefully the leaders are safe from that. I think they're safe from all that debris as well, which is good. And we can continue racing for the next 39 laps, as we're on lap 3 of this race. And I think everyone now is actually starting to break into their own little zone.
Yeah, it's already an epic battle, and we're just 3 laps going in.
Oh yeah, looking at the lead, so Klopp's outbraked himself and he's lost that lead. I think there was a bit of debris that didn't affect him, so he missed the corner. So Nelmes now takes the lead of this race.
Just a driver mistake from Rens Klopp. We are all human, and Clayton Nelmes is eager to get past on that. And now Klopp finds himself in a hunter position, and hasn't seen this for a long time now. He was always driving away from people, but now he has some catching up to do.
So now he's going to have to be the chaser again, as he was at the start of Imola. So it's not completely over for Rens Klopp, but it's made his job harder for that win. And that works out well for Bojov, who's stuck behind Swerkos in 4th place. And Callas is closely behind as well.
You know what I miss, Simon, in the drive a little bit? I miss the presence of certain ghost speed cars. I mean, I was getting so used to the ghost speed cars just challenging Rens Klopp for the victory, but now it seems they didn't have the start they were looking for. And we do find Boshoven in 4th place, but in front of that, Mikko Swerkos is doing a great job, and Clayton and Rens are just in a battle of their own.
Yeah, those main Ghost Speed drivers are, of course, Heron Quickel who's in 7th at the moment, and Falcon, who's in 4th, not where he usually is. He's a lot better than that. Maybe he's just having a bit of a you know, quite what do you call it? Not his particular round that he looked forward to out of Montreal. Brewers still in 12, but Klopp's Klopp's very close to Nelmes at the moment. He's putting the pressure on. He might have him coming into turn 1 at the moment.
Well, he does have the DRS, but he's too far off. He's too far off.
Bojov's close to Swokas as well. He can't, so maybe DRS isn't quite as overkill as we thought it might be here.
No, I mean it's not, but I mean on the first DRS zone, that's the zone where you should do it. And if you have that gear ratio from 7th gear set up properly, I mean you can really have the advantage into that. But Nelms spun. What am I saying about DRS when this action is on the track? Nelms just spun in the lead, just lost the car. Just lost the car under the braking. He touched the grass and he braked, and then the car is gone.
You're looking right for that corner and you're going to brake, and then the grass is to the left, so you don't look at that and you'll hit it and spin off, and that's exactly what Clayton Nelm has done. He's off again, and hopefully the simulation doesn't give him a cut for that. Very close to Campos and Quickle, who are fighting behind, and this will be an interesting battle as well, because Quickle's been stuck behind Campos since the first lap. Hopefully he can get past.
Does Nelms have damage? Did you see him clinching the wall? Because I don't, but his car seems twitchy.
He's probably hot tires from the spinner. Maybe he's just a little out of rhythm.
Yeah, let's hope so, because well, damage is never nice. Either way, Alessio Campos finds himself now into 5th place and the long way up to Sander Callas, who's doing a great job on his debut. I mean, he's still got the leader of this race within a 2-second margin in front of him, and he's following. Mikko Swokas now finds himself into 2nd place. And he's not falling behind Brent, so we got ourselves a race on our hands here. That's what we got.
And this will be Mikko Swokas if he keeps his 2nd place. It's still early days in this race. It'll be his best finish of the season. But Bojov behind is still stuck behind him since lap 1. Passing is not going to be easy, as we've seen. So it's all about the pit stops now. If you're going to one-stop, that pit stop window will be around lap 18. They're going to switch onto the softs and complete the race on that. That should be the winning strategy. Tyre wear is low at Montreal, so it's up to the drivers now for that.
I think we might see a 2-stop. I mean, a 1-stop is definitely possible, but for the front runners, I think Rens Klopp will go for a 2-stop with super soft, soft. But I'm just standing in the commentary box, so don't mind my personal opinion. Rory Voshoven definitely has the top speed here of the front 3 runners, and he is closing up to Mikko Swokas. Yeah, Mikko can only do one thing, and that's defend.
Yeah, he's very close, Bojov, but then that front, the first corner just pops up in your face, and then that's it. You're going to have to set it up for the next lap. So this is where I said you have to improvise if you're in that train. Maybe think of another corner where you can pass.
And also, if we look at Mikko Swokas now, I mean, he will have Jorrit Voshoven behind him with DRS in a few seconds. Sometimes it's just impossible to defend it, and definitely on the first DRS zone here. If a driver is just behind you, there's no way to overtake to defend. I mean, if you go to the right and take a defensive line, he will just pass you straight on onto the left. So let's see if Jorrit can do that with the use of his DRS.
Maybe, you know, I mean, it's I'm a bit not as happy as I was at the start of this race, knowing that it's not going to be that easy to overtake, but that's going to show which driver is consistent and which driver is the best out of them, because the pressure is going to pile on, and Bojov's ever closer to Swokas, but they're going to have to brake for that final chicane. And the run out of the last corner, Swokas has good traction, but maybe Bojov can get it done this time around.
Nah, he won't. He won't be close enough. It's nearly impossible to, if you have a similar exit to that corner, to overtake him there. In my opinion, I mean, if Swokas would drop a little bit on the exit, there might be an overtake maneuver there, but at least not this time around. And as the pack is spreading out, we got a nice top 10 here. And I think the guy with the most disappointment in himself is Clayton Nelms now, who is driving awesomely, but one little tiny bitty of tire onto the grass and you brake, and this is what happens. I mean, this is a mod where you cannot just step in and drive. You have to be fully prepared if you are aiming for a victory here. So definitely unlucky for Clayton here.
Yeah, and he will be regretting that mistake, because he's going to find out that it wasn't easy to overtake in this race. So if he kept that lead from Klopp, even through the pit stop phases, then he might have taken his first win here. But it's not over at the moment. He's still 7th. Maybe a miracle, not a miracle, but maybe something positive will happen to him. He'll make up a few more positions.
And we only got a 5th of the race behind us now, and 4/5 to go here. And we only have 3 DNFs at this moment, which contains Ben Eastman, James Sadler, and Timu Valkujärvi. Yeah, we're well underway, and we got a full pack of drivers here, still aiming for a good finish. And I'm really curious where Sander Callas can take his debut to. I mean, a podium for him on his debut would definitely be something.
And it'll definitely be a terrific effort from him, but he's dropping back from Bojov, who's in 3rd, who's still stuck behind Swerkos, but Klopp hasn't dropped Swerkos completely. He's 1.5 in front, 1.5 seconds in front, and we'll see what the gap is come the 2nd sector. Klopp passes the line now, and there's Swerkos, so it's 1.4 now, so definitely Klopp, is running the lower downforce. He does lose time through that middle sector. Pit stop phase for a 2-stop, as you said, if you're going to go super soft, soft. So you're going to pit around now, which will be lap 10, 11. So we'll see who comes in for that strategy. I
don't think people will pit after 10 laps, even with a 2-stop, but maybe lap 14 or something, 13. But I think we can see pit stops starting in 4 or 5 laps, let's say.
The pits,
I mean, if you would do a 10, 10, 22, I mean, that gap is just too big for that. But yeah, still they could prove me wrong though. We already had drivers in the pit, and some of them even twice with problems. Let's see, Mikko Sokas is definitely hanging on to Rens Klopp, and well, it gives you that extra boost to see the leader of the race. You want to gain time, like every corner, every meter, but it's hard, definitely for a driver as Rens Klopp. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's not new here, and he knows what it takes to win a race. So it's on to Mikko Sokas to stay close to him and maybe capitalize on a mistake that Rens will make again, because as we saw earlier, he already did make a mistake, and he might feel a little bit of tension. Talking about tension, Mikko Sokas is getting caught by Jorik Boshoven at the moment, so we get a fight on our hands right there.
And Swerkos is falling behind from Klopp, so the pressure is coming from Bojov at the moment. And Tulikas now, he's bouncing through the chicane, so Nelmis pits. Tulikas spins, he hits the wall, he's lost his front wing. He's going to have to do a whole lap without a front wing. How unfortunate for him in his first race here in the Pro Series. Nelmes will concentrate on him for now, who pits.
He pits.
And quite a long pit stop, actually. He might have damage, as you said.
He certainly have damage when you're standing along a simu. Nevertheless, he's back on track with soft tires. I think I can put my hand into the fire when I say he will not last 31 laps on those. But let's see.
Yeah, definitely.
So he will
hand
stop
into
again.
The fire on that one. He probably will stop again. Definitely have to stop again. He's going to have to do 31 laps on the soft tire, which is not impossible, but it's just certainly not going to do you any good.
And if we could go on
times.
board with Jorik Boshoven at the moment, I think he will be really close at the end of this straight. There's a lot of difference between top speed here. Jorik Boshoven with almost clinching 330 kph finds himself on the back of the gearbox from Sokas and doesn't find the right exit here. Nevertheless, Sokas chooses to go defensive. but there's just not a long enough run into this corner, even with DRS open.
The only positive from this is that he looks ever so, even if it's...
Campos is diving to Sander Callas in 4th place. Oh, Callas makes a mistake. Callas closes the door way too early. And Alessio Campos is the unfortunate guy in that situation. And Jonathan Holmes is the fortunate guy saying, okay, give me those places, guys. But no, that was definitely a mistake from Sander there.
Yeah, he did close the door on looking at the replay as well. He did close the door. Oh, actually, he just missed the corner, actually. He didn't make it. And then Quico lost a piece of the front wing as well, who collected Sander Callas. So Quico benefited as well. He's up to 4th. And Bojov now is dropped slightly behind Swerkus on that battle. And if we're going to see this, if we're going to see how difficult it is to overtake, we're going to see more contact as drivers have to... We're going to go back to the Pirelli era days where it's, you know, you're going to have to be desperate for each little overtake.
Yeah, I just don't hope those drivers can continue the race. I mean, Sander Callas has already shown us that he's a talented driver, and well, everyone makes mistakes. It is his first year, but yeah, really unfortunate for him as he enters the pits immediately. So I don't know if he goes to the box because he actually wants to have new tires or he wants to repair the damage. Let's see how much time he loses into the pit. He's not pitting off.
No,
Sander Callas just a drive-through or something? This is really weird.
Yeah, that's... I wasn't expecting that.
And he makes contact again. Entering the track, he makes contact with Adrian Falcon. He just didn't see him there. Come on, Sander. Focus a little bit, man.
Yeah, it's a bit of a scruffy few laps. It was everyone was settling into their own little zone, and then a bit of chaos came loose when someone, I can't remember who it was, attempted to overtake, but the action's good. It seems like he's got... Does he have rear wing damage? I'm not sure. That's Callas I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm not sure.
But Callas, he just drove into the pit straight, of a pit box, and he never even stopped. He just did a drive-through penalty without having a drive-through. How's that? I mean,
I'm not sure. Are there life stewards that give drive-through penalties? That might be the case, because I've not heard of that.
No. Carlos Martin will not give live penalties. But therefore we have the post-race checks, of course. Okay, heading back to the battle. Fortunately, it hasn't compromised Alessio Campos' race too much. He still finds himself into 5th place, but has the Twister racing car of Jonathan Holmes behind him. And I'm afraid to say, but I think Alessio sustained some damage from that. So let's see if he can still get a good result, as Jeroen Kwekel is in 4th and just bangs on through the walls into turn 4. He's definitely struggling for pace here, as his teammate Boshoff in a podium scoring place is having a gap now towards Mikko Sokas. Mikko Sokas getting closer to Rens Klop. So this is a nice battle for the win, actually. We only got 14 laps in this race, and we still got 28 to go. So don't go anywhere.
No, certainly not. Turkus is catching back up in 1st place. Queekel's about half a second slower than these guys in the top 3. It's a top 3 battle for the moment. I think it'll stay that way for the rest of the race. And also Callas did pit for tyres once more. He might have just missed his pit box completely. But this is his first race, so it might be that inexperience of maybe he just didn't see his pit box at all. And also a couple laps ago, Mike Partington spun coming out of the final chicane, and he decided to pull into the pits for that one. So obviously these guys are going to be on that 2-stop strategy. As Daniel Brewer pits from 7th place.
He does, and he already overtook 4 drivers, but he will fall back now. He's back on the softer tires, so he will do soft, and he has damage. He's still stationary in the pits. He's pissed off. He's taking 10 seconds for now, 11, 12.
Might be from the Jonathan Holmes collision at turn 1 when he was trying to pass Holmes and they collided.
17 seconds it took Daniel Brewer to make his pit stop, and now he has to drive back onto the track. This is really unfortunate, and he can start way back over now.
Oh, well, this race is just out of nowhere. It's just exploded into there's drama everywhere at the moment.
Jonathan Holmes is looking forward to take 5th place away from Alessio Campos, but Alessio Campos still has too much speed to carry through there. Jonathan Holmes being the wise man here by taking a very big space in order to have the best possible exit. Will he be able to do it? I think he can. Alessio Campos will choose a defensive line, but very late. He brakes even later, and this is brilliant driving from Alessio here. Brakes later and just controls the pace at the moment.
That's the key, because that turn 1 or the main straight's not long enough really to get a pass done. And he got a great exit coming out of there as well. And I think Campos, maybe he's got damage from that collision floor. Maybe Quickle as well has a bit of damage. I saw him lose a piece of that front wing.
They are still driving, but Jonathan takes Alessio now. Wow! Alessio just, as I look into the replay, finds himself a bit wide through the corner, and Jonathan Holmes is capitalizing on that mistake from Alessio. So brilliant driving from Holmes there. And
yeah, the pressure from the pressure from the twister car. I think Campos got onto the marbles after a little, lots of wheel spin. So Holmes is top 5 place at the moment. There's that gap at the front. The top 3 is still between 2 or 3 seconds between the top 3. So it's nice over there. I mean, still waiting for these first pit stops to come into place. Obviously, they're going to be one stopping. I'm pretty sure.
If they can make this stint last for at least 20 laps, they will be easy on with the soft tire. I think if Jorik Boshoff, if the pit window opens, he can go in first and get those extra few fast laps in, like we saw in the real Canada, by the way, with the teams. It saves a lot of time if you head on earlier, but if you get back onto the track with a lot of traffic, that's always the choice you have to make. At this moment we have a great top 10, and Jordan Weeks finds himself into 9th place as well, so brilliant race for him. I haven't seen him around yet this year, so and for the rest it's pretty standard names. The only standard name that is not in there is Daniel Brewer, because he's in 14th place because of the pit stop, and well, also the drama in the early part of the race.
I want to note quickly, Brewer's stuck behind the Talikas now. He's making a move, but he's pitted for the softs. He's doing 19.6s and 19.7s. Bozhov's doing 20.8 and 20.5.
He hits the grass and barely made it to keep the car straight, and that's really great driving from Daniel. If you make a mistake, it can happen to everyone, but correcting it is another thing. Great job from you.
Good job from me. I was watched that as well, and so very, very close to. He's still in 14th, but is very fast on the pace at the moment. As I said, he's doing 1 minute 19s. He's almost 1 second quicker than Bozhov, as Campos pits in 6th, but Bozhov will have to consider that. You want to undercut Swerkus in 2nd to have a go at Rensklopp in 1st.
Yeah, Alessio Campos just pitted, and he just back on the super soft tires.
Did he pit? I'm not sure he pulled into his box.
No,
it's the same issue that Callis had.
What is going on here? I mean, could it be a bug with the track, or is it just a drive-through? I mean, it's really ridiculous. I mean, I never saw a driver just driving through the pit lane for the fun of it, and now we already seen 2 or 3 drivers doing that. I just don't hope there are more issues behind it.
No, it's definitely, there's been an issue where some drivers don't see that pit boxes. Hasn't sprung up in FSR this year. Maybe it's sprung up for this race, as Nelmes, whoa, goes right up to the back. Tell you what, I did not see him there. So he's going to put the pressure on the top 3 or pit at the same time here. This is going to be crucial. All into the pits at one moment. Swerkus has the same pit box as Klopp. Oh, wow. He has to wait for him. So Bozhov's going to drop Swerkus.
This is really fortunate for some and unfortunate for others.
Oh, Quickle as well.
Yeah, Soka's just the major loser out of that situation, but how could he know, you know? I mean, he couldn't. But this definitely gives the edge to Rens, and well, strategy for them, and it was really unlucky for Miko Suokas. I mean, he's basically the one in the top 3 that hasn't made a mistake this race, and I would definitely give it to him, but well, they decided otherwise.
Yeah, and that's, he's lost that place to Bozhov. Bozhov got lucky. Maybe Bozhov can pass Klopp now for first. Also, I want to note that Queekle, I think, locked up coming into his pit box. He crashed into the wall, and then he had a long pit stop because of that.
Holmes is into the barriers, and he manages to rejoin the track, but Holmes went off and gives 3rd place back to Miko Suokas. A lot of interruptions for you, Simon, and Jonathan is off again, and he spins. He already has a spit light on, so he definitely wants to have this lap, but this is just unfortunate. This has to be something on his car. I mean, I never see Jonathan make 2 mistakes on the same lap.
Yeah, Holmes, I think, as I talked about before, when he hit damage on the track, he hit a front wing, and he lost a bit of time from that. That's the heavy pieces in the track. As we said, the marshals are not doing a good job at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't have damage. It's been a lot of chaos. Few cup hustle. I thought Adrian Falcon as well was spun coming out of the final corner. It's just out of nowhere. There's just chaos.
Yeah, as Adrian Falcon, indeed, he's going into the pit again for a new front nose. What an action here on the track. What an action. Another very long pit stop of Jonathan. He was just finding himself into 3rd place, but he rejoins the track into 11th. With a fresh set of new tires, and a crash right in front of Jonathan. What are we seeing here, man? It's Rando Tam. It's Rando Tam.
So Rando Tam broke and got into the dirty side. He rejoined the track. I think he hit a bit of a bump on the curb, and he did a barrel roll. Surprised he can still continue.
He actually did a barrel roll, indeed. I mean, I think it's already a great job what David Dominguez and Saxon have done with improving the bugs of this track, because a week ago it was pretty undrivable. And well, if this is the only weird accident we see with the track data, ever, I'll put my hand on that. Yeah, it's great to see that we don't see any glitches or bugs or whatever.
No, they've done a great job, and the track is looks superb as well. It drives superb, and it's quite enjoyable. Hernandez is the only one who hasn't pitted at the moment. He still continues on way past his dew point for that 1 stop. I mean, he's not going to 0 stop on the super softs. He has to come into. He's doing 22.6s compared to Nelmes behind, who's doing 20.8s on the soft tires. Nelmes did pit on lap 11. It was ages ago. So we'll have to look for someone who's much more on par. That's Queekle is doing 19.2s. So Queekle's well on the pace. He's on the super soft. So Queekle is, I mean, he has to 2-stop because he started on the super softs as well.
And I would like to point out that Clayton Nelms, after that incident in the early stage of the race, I honestly, and sorry for you Nelms, but I honestly didn't think we would see him back into this race. He proves me wrong by driving into 5th spot now and just setting lap after lap with great times, and I think we will see him into the 4th place pretty soon. So that's a great job from him.
It's a good job to make up for your mistakes, and 5th place isn't too bad for him, considering he hasn't had much front running experience all season, and now he's coming under pressure from Callas. And I'm watching Queekle now, who's coming up. That's a lap car, that's Mike Partington. So
as Alessio Campos is trying to take 11th spot from Rando Tam and does that successfully with the DRS. Yeah, after that pit stop, I mean, well, you cannot really call it pit stop, sort of drive-through that Alessio did. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, he was able to score a podium here, and I'm really curious to see what happened to him and the other driver that were just driving through the pit.
Yeah, and it's not unheard of. There's been plenty of incidents, not just in FSR but in R Factor alone, where people haven't seen their pit boxes and they pulled into the pit, so there's been issues of some sort like that. So yeah, definitely interesting to see in the post-race discussion, which I'm sure will be alive after this race, especially after that race, the start of the race into that chicane. I was trying so hard not to laugh, but I was almost about to maybe take a picture of that because that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But we look at Holmes now. He's on the back of Daniel Brewer. Holmes is in 9th, and he started in front of Brewer. Holmes pitted 3 laps ago. He's on fresh, soft tyres. Brewer is on a white, worn softs as well. Holmes has the top speed on Brewer, I'm sure, but it's still going to be difficult to overtake. Brewer last pitted on lap 15 it was, as Holmes was lap 20, so 5 lap fresher tyres for Holmes. We'll see if he can make a pass stick in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, indeed. And I would just like to come back to the subject you just pointed on. There will be, of course, discussion whether the restart of the race was correct or not. I think when you have 8 or 9 cars vertically and horizontally on the track, it's a wise decision to restart the race. And everyone who doesn't agree should have a check on themselves, because, yeah, I mean, there's always room for discussion and how to improve things.
We'll go back to the subject in a moment, but Hernandez runs wide at the hairpin. Nelmes has been pressuring him all lap, and Hernandez has been covering him off well. Nelmes will have DRS. He doesn't have the top speed, though. He only maxes out with DRS at 316, but Hernandez finally pits that one stop. He's on the super softs now. He's going to move on to the softs, and he drops down. I think he'll come out in 9th place when he comes out of the pits, so it's working out well for Hernandez.
Hernandez hasn't pitted yet, and just did so for the first time, right?
Yep, so that's his first pit stop, and he's onto the
After
soft.
24 laps on the super soft, that's a compliment on his own, I think. So
that is.
With 20 laps to go, he should be reasonably. He could push reasonably on these new fresh soft tires, or 18 laps to go actually.
Quite a superb job for, as you said,
yeah, but to be honest, I don't see the logic into that. If you do 24 laps on the super soft, which degrades faster, and 18 laps on the softer tire, I mean, you would switch it around, I suppose. Then again, he's the one that has to do the driving. At this moment, the top 3 is just running out a bit. Grant has found the pace he was looking for in the initial start of the race, but he made a mistake then. But now he finds himself with 4 or 5 seconds into the lead after Jorge Boshover, who's driving a steady race, and Miko Tsuokas really lost out on that pit stop. But yeah, if you share a pit box, I mean, we saw it with Moran and Bono a few weeks ago in the Imola. It's just really frustrating.
Yeah, it's something that probably needs to be sorted out. Nelmes lost position, Quickle and Callis.
Indeed, and they let each other live. Now this is what you should have done earlier, Sander, but nice to see that you instantly learned it. Does leave enough room for Quickle, who made a brilliant move and makes the move stick. So Quickle back into fourth place.
Sorry, no, Nelmes ran the outside of Callas. Callas is still going to have the inside line. Nelmes leaves him room. He's onto the marbles. Almost hits the wall. Wow, that was close for Clayton Nelmes. And now he's into the slipstream for Callas. He'll have DRS. This has worked out perfectly for Herron Quickle in 4th. He's going to break the DRS, break the toe from these two. They're going to be busy fighting each other. So Quickle's 30 seconds behind Klopp in 1st place. So essentially, 4th place will be probably the maximum he'll get out of this race. Remember, he's 2 stopping there, Quickle.
On the grass a little bit, sorry for the shouting, and he doesn't get the exit he needs, because I think Clayton Nelmes doesn't have the top speed to overtake here. Even with DRS open, he's only reaching 315 kph. So 315 kph for Clayton Nelmes DRS.
Alright, so that's
just not enough.
Yeah, it's not enough, especially with this track. You're gonna 320 minimum is what you're gonna aim for. But he's obviously elected. He's obviously saw something that's helped him. Remember, he was leading the race with lower downforce. So maybe Klopp would pass him eventually.
Indeed.
And now, so Quickle's breaking away from these two, Callis and Nelmes. So the Quickle's could have 4th place done and dusted at the moment.
Indeed, yeah, the Ghost Speed cars are looking fighty, and they actually have a little bit of more early stage of the race. Twister is really looking strong today. Also for you guys at home thinking about the Fantasy League, that starts also in a few hours with WC, might be a little bit of signs, you know? Will it be Twister again that has the edge over the others, or huh? So mind you to keep an eye on the Fantasy League for now. As we head back to the race, the top 3 is really spread out, and Quico and Callas are just, well, not fighting anymore. They just switched positions, and now it's Nelms on the back of Sander Callas, who tries to take the spot away from him yet again.
Yeah, I forgot that Quico was 2-stopping. So maybe 4th place isn't done and dusted, because Nelmes and Callas won't pit for this race. Quico will move on to fresh softs anytime soon, and there's 15 laps to go. Klopp has a 2.8 second lead. Bojov's eating out of that. It was 3.5 a few moments ago. Swerkus as well as consistently set at 7.4. That's really unfortunate for him though. I mean, come on, that's unfair that he had that same pit box. He's essentially lost any chance of an opportunity for 2nd place. I don't think he would have had much of a chance to win the race. Maybe Bojov would have more of an opportunity there for that, but Swerkus is definitely keeping Bojov behind, and it frustrated him a lot.
Chances. I mean, who would have thought Daniel Ricciardo would win the Grand Prix? Last year it was Philippe Puschke who won the Grand Prix in WC. After some admin decisions, has to be said. But yeah, Canada is just a guarantee for a lot of action, and well, I think we have seen enough action already for today. As Quico pits, so Quico is into the pit and gives 5th or 4th place back to Sander Callas. And will Quico see his pit box? I believe he will.
So hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't lock up and hit into that left, the grey wall to the left. Nice pit stop for him, very quick. He'll come out in 8th place. Hernandez is at turn 1, but Quico should take that position away.
He should, and he will. So that was really important for Quico to pass Hernandez, who just pitted 4 or 5 laps earlier than he did, to not lose that extra bit of time, and he can instantly go onto the hunt for Brewer and Jonathan Holmes in front of him.
Oh, Brewer spun! Oh, Holmes very
God.
close. So Brewer's spun coming out of the corner. It's a mistake of his own. Holmes was very close to touching him there. So Brewer's dropped down to 10th. And
really unfortunate for him. He has had a lot of incidents today. He like 30 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago, I was saying, okay, he has to start over again. He started over. He was in 7th place. And now he lost it again. Really unfortunate for Daniel. And Holmes goes wide again. He's almost like making room as a back marker, but he just went straight. I mean, maybe a lock up in his brakes. But now he has to defend from Quico. Quico does not have the DRS because he wasn't within a second with him with the detection point. But definitely, Jonathan Holmes is definitely giving a sign to Quico, like, I'm a little bit nervous, I don't have the full confidence in my car, because I'm making a mistake.
You know what, Sander Callas pitted in from 5th place in the meantime, and he is in 9th now, so Quico's certainly jumped him a lot with that undercut. So Quico's on the softs, he'll complete the race. Callas will complete the race on the super softs, so maybe those softer tyres will prove to be the worst for Callas, who's in 8th now. He's jumped Campus as well, but as you said, Quico didn't have DRS, but he's still gaining on Holmes, and we know Twister cars for 3 divisions at FSR, every single car has a high top speed, and I'm sure in WC we'll see some nice speeds in the speed trap for them. As Quico now on a fresher rubber, maybe he might get the pass done into the hairpin. Le Pongle, as they call it in Montreal, he doesn't get the pass done, but he's going to have DRS across the main straight.
Indeed, and you just could hear him thinking, I mean, there was plenty enough room, and Jonathan didn't close the door, but Quico was thinking, okay, I have DRS now, let's put it, let's overtake with the button instead. but he just cannot find it. And this is what I was talking about. You can have DRS, but if you don't have the gear ratio set up in order to gain, I mean, look at this. Quico has DRS, but Jonathan is just pulling out of him the first few meters when they exited the corner. Brilliant driving here from the Twister car with the pink helmet of Jonathan Holmes. So yeah.
Considering I think Holmes probably didn't practice again, because I mean, maybe he didn't, because, and if he didn't, that's quite optimistic signs for him to get back onto his true pace, which was top 3 pace as usual. And he's down in 5th after missing out on Q2 again. And imagine if he does start in the top 10 and higher up, he might have a shot at maybe Swerkos now is in 3rd, so maybe Holmes could have been up there had he qualified higher. As in the meantime, I'm looking at the gap. Bergeau, it's 2.5 now between Klopp and Bergeau, with still 11 laps to go, so plenty of time for Bergeau to reel him in.
Yeah, there is actually, but he has to do it sometime, and actually he has to do it now. He loses out with 10th on the first sector, but the mistake is easily made. So, but I think it is a mistake that Yorick has to be looking for with Rens, because the pace of the Twister, let alone the top speed, they are not easy to pass. Let's put it like that, they're not easy to pass.
I think it'd be a lot... I was a bit confused. Wow, the gaps in... Skip that. The gaps 2 seconds between Klopp and Bergeau. Oh, it's getting pretty tense now, with 10 laps to go for when Klopp crosses the line.
But it's the first sector and the 3rd sector where Rens actually wins time on York, and it's the 2nd sector where York just gets really close. So let's see if there's not so similar which one of them will be the winner. They still have 10 laps to go.
Remember, they both pitted on the same lap along with Mikko Swerkos, so same tire life for both of them. The gap's 1.9 now. It's 2.1 across the line, so we'll stay with the gap across the line as it's more consistent, as each of them are running different downforce packages for this round. But 1.9 across the first sector. Swerkos is comfortably in 3rd. He's probably going to keep that podium spot. Good for him, even though it was disappointing that he had that mistake in the pit stops. And Kweekel now very close to Holmes. He can't get the move done, so it's going to be not going to be happy days for him if he can't get the move done anytime soon.
Indeed, and I'm just really looking forward to see the battle between 1st and 2nd place, Klopp and Boshoven, if we will see a battle. Because there's still 2 seconds to spare, and at least Boshoven is putting the hammer down. I mean, if any one of those two wants to win, you can definitely see it's Boshoven. Or it might be a little bit control driving from Rens, and he might be thinking, okay, I'm gonna let you burn your tires now. I'm gonna take it slow with my pace. I'm just gonna stick to my plan. And if you want to do something the last 5 laps, then I have the fresher tires to hold you up. I don't know, but let's see.
If he's playing mind games, he's doing it well, because of course he will let Bergeau ruin his tires. Bergeau took a 10th out of him in the previous lap, and I think he might take a 10th out of him on this lap. Still 9 laps remaining, so of course, as you going back to what you said earlier on, catching up to someone is one thing, passing them is another, especially at a track like this as we saw today. It's not easy. Easier in real life, not easy today. Kweekel's still very close to Holmes, and Callis has caught up. So Callis is on fresher super softs. He's on fresher tires than both these guys, who are on softs, older softs. And I want to see if even with fresher tires, will he be able to make any move stick anytime soon. He's really close. Kweekel gets loose on the exit. Callis has to back off the accelerator.
Yeah, nice.
Nice battle here. This is for 5th, 6th and 7th. It's 5th that Jonathan Holmes has. And nice for him, as we said, he started outside the top 10.
And Boshoven now just took 4 tenths out of Rens.
Oh, yeah, wow, yeah, exactly. So 4:10, that's 1.5 now between them for first and second.
Yeah, and if he can climb close enough to Rens, then within one lap or maybe this lap, he can get the DRS. But like we saw earlier, the Twister Racing car is remarkably quick.
Remarkably quick in a straight line. That's not going to make Bergerov's life any easier when he gets right up to the back of the gearbox of him. And as going back to that battle between 5th and 7th, there's not going to be any overtaking maneuvers anytime soon, as it's not easy to pass. So we mentioned that a million times, and it's not going to change. Nelmes, as I said, is in 4th. He's not bad for him considering he made a couple of mistakes, or a few mistakes. So 4th place isn't bad, but he's 44 seconds off the lead. And Swerkus with a really promising pace, with only 8 seconds behind Klopp in 1st. It's 1.4 between Klopp and Bergerov, the gap. See if Bergerov pulled off any time on this lap. There'll be 7 laps remaining as Klopp crosses the line. Now it's 1.3. Oh, this battle is just getting started now.
Yeah, 7 laps to go indeed, and we got a battle on the lead of our hands. And what is it nice to say that.
Cool, sorry, at the hairpin, Quickel tries to go around the outside. He gets onto the marbles. So Holmes will have, he doesn't have a good exit, so Quickel has a great exit, and he'll have DRS as well. So Quickel will get this move done. Jonathan's the only one who doesn't have DRS. Callis might make it double. Oh, he's being part. It's much like that Schumacher Hakkinen at Spa. Yeah. That little overtake there. Oh, into the hairpin. Callis tips Quickel. He spins as well.
No, Quickel, what are you doing, my friend? That's not what you would have wanted. But it lets Callas into 5th place, and he wasn't even involved in that. And still, when Quickel instantly pits, oh, what a dramatic race for Quickel it is. This is not what you deserve, my friend.
Absolutely heartbreaking for Quickel. He's going to drop outside of the top 10 as well. He all that work for that great overtaking move, and he spun on the exit.
And Callis now finds himself into 5th place with a sliding Jonathan Holmes behind him. Might be this way that Callis just gets 5th place handed over by him. And as I just said, that Jorik Boshoven is within a second of the Twister Racing car for Rens Klopp. 6 laps to go. 6 DRS, in fact 12 DRS zones, if you put it like that. And Jorik is really pushing it hard. Takes 3/10 out of Rens in the first sector alone. I think this be it.
He'll have DRS come this lap. Hopefully, if he's in the 1 second, he's in the 1 second window behind Klopp, and this will be crucial for the championship. If Klopp wins this race, he'll extend that championship lead. If Bergerov does, I think he'll take the championship back. The championship lead back from Rens Klopp, who stole it from him nicely at Imola with a great drive. He's only 7/10 behind. Let's have a look at the top speed with Klopp without DRS and Bergerov with DRS. As he flicks it on now in the zone, he's still quite far behind. So Klopp reaches around 317, and Bergerov is a lot higher than that. I think this lead Rens Klopp could be taken away. As Quickel hits again, he's well out of the points. He's a lap behind now as well, unfortunate for him.
Really unfortunate. Let's try again in a few weeks at the new venue. At the moment we are still head on with 5 laps to go. Jorik Boshoven and Rens Klopp making our hearts beat faster and faster. And I think the hearts of them will beat the fastest. Rens is familiar with these situations, and he's a tough guy to pass. Jorik probably knows Rens and, well, needs aggression in order to make the move stick with Rens. And well, this is just 2 drivers fighting for a win here, 2 dogs fighting for a bone. I mean,
and as you said, aggression. Bergerov got a little bit loose coming out of the exit, so he's outside the DRS zone. This will be interesting if he has it. I'm looking at his onboard light and his cockpit. He won't have DRS. He was only a 10th off the zone, and there's going to be 4 laps left as when Klopp That's a bit of a tongue twister there when Klopp crosses the line next time around. So Bojov doesn't have DRS. This is important for him to get the move done as quick as possible.
He didn't got DRS, but he did have a top speed of 320 without DRS.
Klopp's a lot without DRS, and if Bojov has DRS, an overtaking move will happen eventually. It will be inevitable come the end of this race. As we said, 4 laps remaining. Klopp under a heap of pressure from Bojov. This is the most pressure we've seen Bojov put on Klopp all season, which is nice to see. I said earlier on in the broadcast, Klopp goes away. He gets loose.
This is the mistake Jorik is looking forward to and now ready to capitalize. He will be in DRS activation for sure after these 2 faster right and left-handers, but Jorik finds himself a bit wide there as well.
It's a dirty air, isn't it?
I believe it was, but both drivers really tensioned here. Keep it together, guys. Give us a show, but don't go over the edge for your own sakes, please. And now the DRS opens again, and although I don't think he will be close enough to make a move, he will definitely be close enough to reach his hand out for the gearbox of him.
Yeah, so Callas got past Nelmes. I was watching that in the meantime, so that's good for him in his debut performance. He'll be in 4th. Bojov's still too far behind to get past Klopp. Klopp's pretty slow because Swokos has now dropped, he's gained 2 seconds on these guys in the past 5 or 6 laps, but he won't have any chance of a win. It's definitely between the top 2. Bojov's as close as he's ever been all race. Hopefully Klopp won't make a mistake come the exit of this corner, the entrance into Sector 2. Have to make sure your differential is set up well through there. And Klopp looks like he got a smooth exit, so it does look like it's set up well. I want to see the gap into the second sector identification point. The DRS detection point is around now. And the light is...
Nah, he will have DRS, but I don't think he will be close enough, although he does make a brilliant exit there. A bit of oversteer on the far exit.
It's the same gap as the previous lap, so I doubt Bojov will make any move sick unless Klopp makes a mistake. Hopefully no commentator's curse I put on Ren's Klopp. And nice and smooth on the exit, so no mistake. There'll be 2 laps remaining for him next time around.
2 laps for Ren's Klopp to keep Jorik behind, and I think he can do it as long as he doesn't make any mistake as Jorik pushes and drifts through turn 1. He really wants this. He really wants this.
He knows that it's quite important for that championship lead. In the timing gap, Clayton Nelmes, Sam Jones just told us, our cameraman, that he's dropped down to 9th. I'm not sure why. He must have made a mistake, as there's quite a nice little battle between Brewer and Campus as well. Brewer's getting very unsettled, so he's in 8th. Hernandez is in 6th. Wow, that's pretty good considering he's done the opposite strategy on tyres. Remember, he pitted lap 24, went 24 laps on 18 on soft, so nice result for him if he can bring it home in 6th place. Bojov still... Is he outside of the DRS zone, I think, from Klopp?
I think he is. Yes, he is. So no DRS this time round, but he does have the top speed advantage over the Twister racing car. But it's 1 lap to go and over a second to spare in between, so it's either now or never for Jorik. But if Rens just can keep his head together now, it will be never for Jorik. So last lap, last tension. I mean, we saw Vettel once, you know, making a mistake in the last lap that allowed Button to make the victory. But I don't think Rens will make the same.
No, they certainly. That was obviously on a drying track. But maybe this is the corner now as Klopp comes through. He doesn't make that same mistake. That's good for him. 8/10 is the gap. I think he's comfortably got this win in the bag for him. This will be a great win for Ren's Klopp, considering how it wasn't easy for him. You know, I mean, the easy wins are good because you know you're more dominant than everyone else. But when you have to fight for it, it's even more sweet.
But the flag hasn't been waved yet. I mean, we saw like Carlos Martin in Malaysia dropping without fuel last straight. I mean, it was really epic. But Jorik Boshoff now on the back straight, and the gap is just too big, even though he has DRS open.
Won't be enough, will it? So Klopp will win this race.
Klopp will win this race for Twister Racing, and he knows it already. Rens Klopp takes his victory this season. What a race!
What a terrific race. 4th consecutive win for Rens Klopp. He extends the championship lead. Swokas is in 3rd. Sorry, Jorik Boshov's in 2nd. We mustn't forget who's 2nd in the championship as well. Nice drive from him. Even though it probably was slightly disappointing in the end. He had the pace to take the lead, but couldn't make an overtaking move stick. And we're going to have to wait a hell of a while for Sander Callis in 4th, who's 49 seconds off the lead. That's a nice result for him on his debut performance.
Yeah, and I think Jonathan Holmes can be satisfied with 5th as well. I mean, he started in 11th like last race in Imola, and I think it's a good scoring position for him. If you count what has happened this race. Sander Callas, indeed, after a few mistakes in the earlier race, especially that one with Alessio Campos, he clinches 4th position. Great result for him. And Mikko Sokas on the podium into 3rd place for Faster Than Speed. So that's the 2nd podium for Faster Than Speed this year. The first one was, that was Ace Norbert Leitner, who actually won the race. So great result for Faster Than Speed, and the result that Rens Klopp just put it down is kinda, well, Twister might say we're getting used to you winning, so definitely heads off for Rens here.
Well done to him for Twister, and another dominant performance. I'm wondering, maybe he could have won the Bahrain event as well, qualified, and I've mentioned that. I know I've been quite repetitive, but it's just quite scary to note that he might have done it. Bojov being nice and sportsman, giving a nice congratulations to Bojov.
Rens Klopp doing some donuts, so Twister Racing will receive a penalty of 25,000 euros, like Vettel got now. But definitely heads off for Rens, and awesome race.
Oh, what a terrific race. And from the lap 1 in the first start, I mean, that was quite a dramatic start. And then afterwards, it slowed down a bit in the first couple of laps. But then after that, it was quite an entertaining race, actually. We'll round out quickly the results. We got Rens Klopp in 1st, Bojov in 2nd, which is nice. Swokas in 3rd. Sander Callis is in 4th, Holmes in 5th, Hernandez is in 6th. Nice drop for him, considering that strategy was probably not the best choice to do with the opposite, but he's still got a great result for there. Campos in 7th. He finished 4th at Imola, so maybe at Silverstone he might have a slightly better result. Brewer is in 8th, a dramatic race for him, so nice to finish with a few extra points. And Tulikas in his first race is 9th, and Nalmez is in 10th, so that rounds out our top 10 for this race.
Indeed.
So driver of the race for you?
That's a tough one. I think Sander did a great job on his debut with a 4th spot, and he definitely stole the show in a matter that, as a rookie driver, he did a great job. So my vote goes out for him. Yeah,
terrific race, and he well deserved for your vote, especially, and a well deserved result. For me, I think Klopp did a nice job as well. Callis did a great job for his first race, and that was very entertaining. I mean, I was sort of my head was a bit down in the first few minutes of the race. It was much like the Bahrain Formula 1 race, where the start of it wasn't great to start, but then the end was quite dramatic, and that was really looking forward to Silverstone. It'll be our final race before the summer break.
Indeed, and this was only the warm-up show, mind you. All that action, and it's still the warm-up show? Yes, it is, because in a few hours it's WC that is about to head on with the names that you are so used to, like Bono Huis and Morgan Morant, and the race winner Martin Gosby. Since 2 weeks ago, he can call himself a race winner.
I'll be making my debut in WC in just an hour's time as well. So hopefully, if there's any fans for me, support for me, that would be nice.
Yeah, but there will be the main show going on in I think a little bit more than an hour to spare. So I hope you enjoyed the show here today. Next to me was Jonny Simon, indeed, and thanks for Sam Jones with the cameras. And I'm Chris de Jong, and we would like to see you back in WC in an hour's time. For now, thanks for watching, and I wish you all a good day. Bye bye.